So let's continue with texturing our container box we modeled. So in this video, I will show you the UV unwrapping and then the UV texturing and how we would create actually this material. Before we continue, there's a tiny little adjustment I would like to do on my packaging design. I have the top flap and the bottom flaps all separately modeled, which is good. Just not here. So these sides, they need to have somewhere an opening. So I will go ahead, and I noticed in my case here I have a little bit of an overlapping issue. You can see that kind of like there. So G and Y, and very gentle I put it to there. Good. Okay. Actually, I will for the moment move this in a little bit more, and you will see why. Now, based on you which side you want to select, I will select this face, X, and delete face. Very good. Then I will select this edge, press E, escape, and in my case here this is Y, so G and Y, so I move this further out till there, and then E and X, and I move this one in, S and Z, and make my flap here again, S and Z there. Okay. Now I can go back and make sure that the way how I build everything, they're not overlapping. So these two edges, see here, which I selected, these I will bring in G and Y closer to there. Okay, that's good. And then I can select, nope, U and nope, U and U, yeah. And G and Y, make this aligned there. This simply, as you can see, when we leave edit mode, gives a little bit more of a structure that's believable. Very good. So that was the last geometry fix we needed to do. Now let me show you the UV unwrapping. So UV unwrapping basically means we need to take this geometry and make it flat so we can glue a texture over it. And then via this system, we will be able to texture a three-dimensional geometry. One view I will set to UV editor. Very good. Then we will click new. I could say this is UV test. Generate a type. We will set UV grid. Click OK. Now we have this grid. In the viewport, press Tab to go into edit mode, select everything, press U, and simply click on Unwrap. And there we are. Now you see there's actually my unwrapped geometry. We don't really see anything here. So let's go to materials. For this box, we add a new material. We go to base color and then select image. And then for the image, we will select this UV test. And then here we switch to the look depth. Bang! There we see the texture on it. So this is a test texture, which essentially helps you to understand, is there anywhere a stress? So if I, let's say, select these 2 points and then G and X, move them closer, you see I'm changing the proportion of this face and the back face. So the original mesh is wider than here, thus the image that is selected will be stretched over that surface. Reverse, if I make this longer, more stuff is squeezed in, or if I move this one to there, you see it's totally distorted. So it's a tool to double check that your mesh is evenly unwrapped and you don't have any distortions in it. However, what I noticed is in my model, this part is on top, and in my UV unwrap part, this is at the bottom. You see here on top, the bottom. So I have to unwrap everything. Select all your stuff, UV, mirror, y-axis, done. Very good. We will scale this down via S a little bit. And then it's time to send the stuff out to Illustrator or Affinity Designer. I'm going to use the Affinity stuff, runs faster than the Adobe crapware. And yeah, this is all good. And let's say UV layout. You guys feel free what software you want to use. So if you have Adobe, use Adobe. That's fine. Let me fire this up. And again, this is nice, easy to be done because we have a good reference, the photos. So we'll open this image. We do not want to change the format, and we do not also want this image to move around. So we just keep it where it is. So you see this UV layout is basically a line work with filling inside, so we know where the individual faces are. And where is my logo? There, let's drag the logo on. Here's this packaging. Let's drag it in. Very good. This I will make a little bit smaller there, so it's easier to see. And then this I can scale down. Also here, I will adjust this a little bit there. So in this case, I found a high-res image of that logo. You have it online in the shared folder. This is a white background, so we can use this too. Pretty good. Very nice. Let's scale this down a little bit more. So I'm just rebuilding actually the label, the way how I see it on my packaging. I will add some for her. I'm going to select the correct font. So this is actually more a serif. And I'll just maybe go with the Times for the moment. There, in correct font, but it's okay for the moment because it's just an exercise what we're doing there. Peony, okay, zip, make a copy there. There's a little bit of spacing in the letters, so we can go to that was the wrong one. There it is. Rip. No, let's say 70. All this we will center. There we centered it. Okay, and so your task, as you can see, will be to rebuild the rest increasingly. I will just switch to the next step. So you see we have black, white, and then we have metal stuff. So we're actually dealing here with multiple materials. So reflective and a not so reflective material. So metallic and just basic print. Obviously the white is a glossy paper and then we print black on it. So it will be all slightly glossy. But then with the metal stuff, that is like a, well, as you can see, it's a metallic reflection. So we need to create a mask that blends between the black and white texture and then this metallic material. And that's exactly what I'm going to create now. So here we have a rectangle. So to do this, I will create just here like a rectangle. This will have a nice thick stroke. It does not have any filling there. Very good. It has actually sharp edges. So here's all sharp. Very good. And then there is a copy of this. but with a smaller thing there, and another copy and being smaller again. Okay, good. And then you also see here, this part is black, and this area is white. So how do we do this? To create this, I will build myself a rectangle here too. Or I could actually do it. Yeah, I can just do this with a rectangle. That's fine. So this rectangle goes from there to there. So this is actually one side. So this, and I, in this case here, no stroke, but I want a black filling. Very good. Make myself a copy on the other side. They all have to have exactly the correct height there. Also at the bottom. So that's okay. So this is filled, but now how do I do this frame that goes around? So to do this, it's pretty easy. I simply, let me adjust this to be more precise at that point. There. Okay, so I will create myself now here rectangle with a stroke. I make the stroke a little bit thicker as needed. In my case, the stroke should be inside. And then there you see, I just stretched this one out to there. Okay, very good. Now we have a stroke also here on the top part. So I can take kind of like this rectangle, make a copy and paste it, and then I just scale this one to there. Okay, very good. So you start seeing I'm simply rebuilding kind of like a black and white mask of this design. So there, this is hopefully lined up correctly, and then this here, come on, yeah, this is my back on the left side, so I just have to move this one over to there, snap this all. This is all correct. And then I do this, copy and paste, move this to the bottom. Done. Okay, very good. Now these flaps, actually, we would like to be colored too. So how do we do this? Now we can actually start tricking the system a little bit. So I simply move this up and move this one down. Very good. And then I put maybe this rectangle I move over to there. So it covers the area. And one last rectangle here at the bottom there. And I will just flip this. Very good. And the same I will do on top. Okay. So in my layer system, this background image I'm going to hide. I'm also going to hide this, and then I will draw a big rectangle. This one I bring to there, and the color I would like to be white. So now I can see better how everything lines up. There I can see this needs to be a tick there to close that gap. So that's good. Do we have a gap there? That's a display. So I would say that looks pretty good. The text, however, is black. And the other graphics, they are actually all gold. So I can't export this as an image. So I have to adjust this a little bit. So I will do the following. So all this, for example, I will move up so I can hide this. Yeah, you see, so all the stuff is gone. Very good. This image I will export. And as a PNG, that's good. Export. And I will call this one UV mask. Very good. All this I will hide, and I will show those. We'll show this export, and I could call this maybe logo. So there I have my mask. There I have the text. And I might have to press pause. My baby starts a tantrum. Boy, that was a task to get her to sleep. Okay, where were we? Let me see. Yeah, we created all the individual textures. So before I continue, just want to point something out. You see white is black, and then the French stuff is in gold. So the way you have to finish is white. This will be part of the text. And then the golden text will be part of the other stuff. Okay, so let's continue. We want to create two materials. So I will open my shader editor. This one here, I don't need. Actually, I would like to have this one running there. Oh, there you can see actually how this maps over. Pretty decent. Yeah, that's pretty nice. So how do we do these two different materials now? So this is just a mask, which means I need to have one material mixed by a different material. So I can Shift D, make a copy. These are two now. So let's say the first one is the plastic and the next one is the metallic. So here's the metallic. Let's make this a little bit orange. Roughness maybe 0.2. Very good. And then we need to mix these two together. So we need a mix shader. So this one goes in there, this one goes in there, and then this is actually what goes into the surface. And now this is amazing. Okay, so let me pause again. Okay, so here I'm back. I needed to redo actually this mask because when I unwrapped it, it had a different orientation. And there was another instance where actually it crashed. So I created actually this node network with being in simply solid, not in lookdev mode. This is also a previous beta. So maybe just in case it crashes, update the new beta. This could easily be that's an old bug that's not fixed, and or create the material here first and then switch to there. So as you can see, there are my two materials, the metallic and, for example, the plastic. And then the UV mask decides basically, well, which bing. So I think my theory here was correct, that it's just the look dev on my version that has an issue. So when I turn this off, see now it was compiling the material, and if I now switch to this there, see all is good. So when I go back to here and connect this, Go back to there. All good. Okay, so everything fine. It looks pretty good. Two things I need to fix. I can see here that actually the material is not where it should be. So if I now show my UV mask and I zoom in a little bit, then yeah, I see this one up here, there. So maybe I want this border to drag up a little bit more. I can also click on this face and I can actually see where is this one on there. So there we can see this. We can trick here a little bit. I can select this and move this with G and Y a little bit down. There you see how we're stretching this over. But that's not necessarily very good. So what we will do is we do this more correctly. Here, this is the UV layout. This one I turn off. Okay, so we set this one. I would like to move more to there. And then I just need to add a small fill rectangle inside this gap. So from there, that is good. This one moves up to there. Very good. Do I have anywhere else? Something that needs some extra love. Oh yeah, what's going on here? Interesting. So, what face is this? Ah, there, that face. Okay, so in my case, again, that is then here. That's going to be an easy adjustment. There, bring this one to there. And then this face, I simply drag over. Very good. So, all this, I will simply export again. So, export as a PNG, that's fine. Export UV layout, we just override it. Okay, then I go back to Blender, go to there, save this one, and then this image here I would like to reload. I could do this by deleting the image, click open, and then I select the correct file. Great. They have two different names, so that's kind of silly. Okay, let's do it this way. I don't know which one is which one. Export there. That should have been mask. Rip. Okay. And then open. Here's the mask. Open. Let's take a look. And there you can see, no, this looks actually better. Also on the back, well, we don't see the back, but this is all correct. Okay, so you see again, two different materials. And we use this black and white image as a mask to mix between the metallic shader and the white shader. So here we have a base color. So this base color is white. We can override this actually with the logo stuff. So Shift A and add texture, add image texture, open. Here's the logo. I click save just to be sure. Then this goes into base color. Specular. Let's set this maybe to there. And then let's see. Boom. There we are. You see? Awesome. So this is paper. This is not as reflective. Maybe 0.3 reflectivity. This is also paper, so it's blurry. So maybe 0.3. And yeah, see? Very easy way to texture the stuff. So the color of the base color, which was initially white, got completely replaced by whatever is inside this logo image. And that in a nutshell is basically how you do packaging design and rendering. And then if you also want to mix different materials, in this case, it was very easy to mix a metallic print with white, and then the white also has the black print. Probably the glossy level between white and black will be the same. And this means we only need these two different materials, metallic and the white with the text. And then we use the UV mask as kind of like as a stencil to mix between these two materials using a mix shader.